Holy shit, dude! Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is the Turret Gamer, and today what I have for you is a very fun video. I'm going to do a little matchup on hardcore versus core. Today I am going to tell you the pros and then the cons of each game mode, and then after that I'm going to tell you which game mode is better to play and which game mode takes more skill. So without further ado, let's get right into the pros of core. Now I've taken 3 different pros and 3 different cons for each game mode. They are in no particular order, so let's get right into the first one. Number 1, the minimap. Now the minimap is almost always visible. The minimap will tell you where the enemies are, where the enemies are spawning. If an enemy is shooting his gun and he doesn't have suppressor on, the minimap will show you there. The minimap is the guideline of all core game modes. Always keep an eye and look on your minimap. I look at my minimap when I'm playing core just about every 2 seconds. I'll guide my eyes up and I'll guide my eyes back to the middle of the screen. The minimap is probably the most important aspect and part of any core game mode. Number 2, and that is more and longer game modes. We'll cover the more first. Obviously with core, you have more game modes. In hardcore, you have your TDM, your domination, your search, your free-for-all. But in core, you add hardpoint, you add capture the flag, and you add other games such as war, gridiron, and kill confirmed. Now let's cover the longer game modes. Obviously in core, it takes a lot, well, not a lot, but a noticeably difference of how long it takes to kill in core and hardcore. In core, it generally takes, on average, about 4 to 6 bullets to kill someone. You might get that 3, you might even get the 2 shot. If you're using a sniper, you'll get the 1 shot, but in hardcore, it generally takes 1 to 2 bullets to kill. So that's what makes the game longer in core. It takes more time to get the kills. And if you're playing game modes like Capture the Flag, Hardpoint, and Gridiron, those games can last forever. They can last the whole amount of time, especially if you get guys that are just trying to get some kills, maybe just going for nukes. Number 3 is jump and drop shot. I'm not going to go too much into detail because we all seen it and we all know how to do it. Basically what it comes down to is in core, you have the ability to jump and drop shot just because it takes longer to kill rather than hardcore. Pretty much you're dead even before you try it. Now with pros, there are some cons. So let's go over the 3 cons that I have with core. The first one is more assist. And again, I'm not going into too much detail about this. We all know what a kill and we all know what an assist is. In hardcore, it takes 1 to 2 shots to kill, but if in core, it might take 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6. So if you start shooting a guy and he goes around the corner and you don't get the kill, you're more than likely to get the assist. Now the second one is just on my experience only. If you guys have different experiences or different outcomes, let me know in the comment section. But number 2 is more parties. More people generally play core, it's no secret. And more people generally run in parties when they play core. So when you play core, you might run into a party of 3, 4, 5, who knows, maybe even 6. So definitely when you play on core, rather than hardcore, I typically find myself running into a lot of parties. Now the last con I have for core is definitely countered by using airborne class with the flanker basic training perk. But if you don't like running those and you don't want to run those, well, number 3 is you're always going to be on the map. If you're not using airborne with suppressor, you're going to show up on the map when you're firing. And if you're not using the mountain division leveled up to 4, well, at least to 2 or 3, and you're not using the flanker basic trainer perk, you're going to show up on the map when they call in the recon aircraft. So number 3 is you're always going to be on the map. Now let's go into hardcore, and again I've chosen 3 pros and 3 cons. Let's go to number 1, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You get more kills in hardcore because it only takes 1 to 2 bullets to kill someone. Rather than in core where it takes 4, 5, 6, in hardcore you can typically one-shot someone if you're very up close. And speaking of one-shots, boy, do you get a lot of one-shots in hardcore. Whether it's an SMG or an assault rifle, if you're using a semi-automatic sniper rifle or a semi-automatic assault rifle, you are going to get a lot of one-shot kills. So that's my number 2. And number 3 is hardcore is a great way to get camos. Think about it. Your shotgun and your sniper rifles, you have to get 100 one-shot kills. Well, if you're using a shotgun with low damage in core, it's going to take 2 shots. If you're using a semi-automatic sniper rifle in core, it might take 2 shots unless, you aim for the head. So hardcore is a great way to get those one-shot kills and to get more camos. Now let's check out the 3 things that I have for the cons of hardcore, because oh my, there are some cons. The first con I have for you is, yes, you do get a lot more kills because it's one-shot kills most of the time, but you also get more deaths because most of the time it's one-shot deaths. You will die a lot in hardcore. If you do not play hardcore on a regular basis, it is much harder to stay alive just because your life is down to 30% rather than 100%. So you will probably, most likely, unless you're God, you will die a lot in hardcore. Number 2, no minimap. Earlier in the video, you heard me talk greatly and highly of the minimap in core. Well, in hardcore, forget all of that. Unless, of course, you get a recon aircraft. But if you're running with a team that you don't get one, they don't get one, it's going to be rough. So number 2 is no minimap. And the third and final con on my list of hardcore cons is more campers. I am not going to show gameplay of me getting killed by campers because 2 things. 1, I don't like watching me die of a camper. And 2, I don't like watching me die by a camper. So when you play hardcore, expect a lot of campers. This happens because, yes, there's no mini-map. There's no way for you to find them. So they might just sit in a corner and be stealthy and wait for the kills. You can't really do nothing about it. It's a part of the game. So in hardcore, you will find a lot of camping. So which game mode do I prefer? Well, honestly, I prefer them both. There's times in hardcore where if I get killed, I can say, oh, well, if this was core, I'd be able to drop and jump shot. And there's times in core where I'll shoot him and it'll take 6 bullets to kill him, and I'd say, oh, well, if this was hardcore, I would have killed him earlier. Truth be told is you don't want to stick on a game mode for an extended period of time. Don't get used to just one game mode. Get used to them both. My preference is if your snap aim and your aim is on command, go for hardcore, you'll get a lot more kills. But if you're struggling with aim, but your hip fire is pretty good and your map awareness is pretty good, then go to core. I really don't have a preference between the 2. I like them both. I like core and I like hardcore. As for which one takes more skill, they both take the same amount of skill. Core takes 50% skill, while hardcore takes the 50% skill that's not used in core. You obviously need good snap aim and reaction time in hardcore, while in core you need to keep your aim on to get the full kill. They both have their flaws, and they both have their pros and they both have their cons, and that's why I made this video. But to me, hardcore or core doesn't take more skill than the other game modes. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you can leave a like, that would be great. Subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you never have to miss an upload or a stream again, and you can join the Spark March, guys. Anyways, don't hate, eat some cake, stay cool, full, thick thighs, and bright eyes, and as always, guys, keep on grinding. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Make sure you watch the previous video, hit that like